Good morning, everybody. Happy Hump Day to you on this Wednesday, November 5th, 2025. I got all of your stories for your rush hour ride to work, and what a wild day it is. Now, I'm supposed to be recording from San Francisco covering the Owens versus Mike Maricini trial. Decided not to go after seeing the shenanigans she was pulling. Her appeal was denied to try to get a continuance to the trial. It is happening today. We will be covering it with all of the updates. But first, I wanted to talk about everything that's happening with regards to yesterday's election. It's an absolute wild time to be alive with regards to the United States political landscape. We've got mayoral races in New York City. We've got the Jersey and Virginia governor's race and the Prop 50 in California. All of them went blue. So, it's absolutely insane. Zohran Mamdani projected the winner of New York City. It's all been but confirmed with over 1 million votes. Unbelievable stuff. Over 50% of the vote. Again, defeating Andrew Cuomo for the second time. Cuomo was defeated by Zohran Mamdani in the primaries of the Democratic Party. And after, I guess Cuomo, he just doesn't take no for an answer in more ways than one. But right now decided to run as an independent endorsed by President Trump. And President Trump is not happy. So he said Trump wasn't on the ballot and shutdown were the two reasons that Republicans lost elections tonight, according to pollsters. Now, there is no silver lining to last night's elections. There was virtually no significant wins for the Republican Party. And this is really sort of how you can judge where the political climate is going following the previous election. So Trump obviously became president. And I think a lot of people were just surprised by not only his immigration plan, but that they're not just like removing, illegal immigrants who have committed violent acts. They're literally coming after everyone. They're mistakenly arresting American citizens or people that are naturalized or have, some sort of legal status. I mean, it's an absolute dumpster fire out there. And no longer do we need to speculate. The numbers back that up. I'm going to share how every single district in Virginia has shifted blue. I'm going to share the margins of victory. It is absolutely alarming if you're in the Republican Party to see what's going on. The question now becomes those like the Marjorie Taylor Greenes and the younger members of the Republican Party. Are they going to distance themselves from Trump? That's the question. I mean, even J.D. Vance was endorsing his own half-brother for the mayor of Cincinnati. He lost in a insane landslide. And it's just like the margins are insane. I'm actually surprised when I see it play out. So I'm going to share a few clips with you guys from Zohran's victory speech. But first, here's the moment where News Nation called the win for Zohran in New York City.
The 34-year-old Democratic Socialist is the winner, as expected, and will be the next mayor here in New York City. Numbers coming in early. The check mark is next to Mamdani, and he ran a campaign after, winning in a crowded Democratic primary field that was impressive to many, driven by the youth vote here in New York City. On the left side of the Democratic Party, without a doubt, as you look at his campaign headquarters. And now Mamdani, just turning 34 years of age, will be the next mayor in the largest city in the country.
Of course, there's people that are terrified. Oh, you're electing a communist. I've also received DMs from people that are just insanely racist because he's Muslim. He ran on a campaign for affordability in New York. I love New York. It used to be my home. I hope in the future it could become my home again. I absolutely love the city and the state. It's one of the greatest places in the world. Not everybody is happy with the choice, but I'm going to share several clips here of what Mamdani had to say last night after declaring victory.
Tonight, against all odds, we have grasped it. The future is in our hands. My friends, we have toppled a political dynasty.
I mean, it's true, really. Andrew Cuomo was the governor of New York. His father was as well. I mean, they really were New York dynasty. And Zohran Mamdani is an immigrant. He can't run for president. He wasn't born here. He's an immigrant, and he just came out of nowhere polling at 1%. Nobody knew his name. I was actually in New York City for the primaries, and people were shocked. They said, oh, it's going to be days until we know who wins the election because of ranked choice voting. It's very complex. And he won by such a margin that they were able to reveal it literally right away. Here was some of the final words from Zohran Mamdani on his victory speech. Trump, of course, said he's going to possibly attempt to cut federal funding for New York City, which is insane because New York is a state that actually pays more into federal funding than it receives. So it's absolutely insane that that's sort of the hardball game they're playing. But here is Zohran not backing down.
So Donald Trump, since I know you're watching, I have 4 words for you. Turn the volume up.
So there it is. You heard that loud and clear. And listen, I'm well aware that there are members both of my community and the New York community that have been worried about Zohran Mamdani, specifically members of the Jewish community. Donald Trump tweeted this: any Jewish person that votes for Zohran Mamdani, a proven and self-professed Jew hater, is a stupid person. First of all, how offensive for Donald Trump to try to pit one community against, Zohran Mamdani. It's absolutely insane. Now, I would, of course, say that the Jewish community seems to be mixed due to the polling, but to say that he's a Jew hater, that is just absolutely wild. And for those that are wondering, here is his response to that tweet.
Who votes for you is a, quote, stupid person. We are Jews who are proudly voting for you, proudly campaigning for you. What is your message to Jewish voters?
That I'm looking forward to being a mayor for every single Jewish voter, whether they're voting for me, whether they're voting for someone else, whether they're not voting at all. Because at the end of it, they're New Yorkers. They deserve not only protection, they deserve to be celebrated, they deserve to be cherished, and they deserve someone more than just a president who's looking to try and define what it means to be a good Jewish person in this city or in this country. It's time for us to actually listen to Jewish New Yorkers themselves, and that's the mayor that I will be.
There it is. And of course, he is the mayor starting January 1st, 2026. And my hope is that he lives up to those promises. I've spoken to some members of our community, and I've had really great conversations. Specifically, I'm not going to say anybody's name, but specifically to one member of the community. We've exchanged voice notes back and forth. She's absolutely just a sweetheart with her concerns, and we're on the same page that we want the country to be the best version it can be, the city, and pretty much everywhere in between. And we really hope we can live up to these ideals. Now, what's interesting here, as being reported, is in the Virginia race, every single county in Virginia shifted blue. Listen, you might not be heavily into politics, but this is the country we live in right now. Everything is political. Every conversation seems to fall in one category or another based on who you voted for, what vision we want for the country. It's an inflection point. It really is. And I think what we're learning is with, this sort of militarization of ICE and the amount of money being poured into ripping communities apart, I think what we're realizing and learning in real time is that's not the country that most Americans want to live in. It's not a country that's providing cheaper grocery prices or easier access to home prices or lower medical care. It's really like a fear-based version of a country that's a result of Trump not just living up to his campaign promises, but really having motivations that are very authoritarian, to say the least, blowing up dozens of ships in the Caribbean Sea, possible wars with Venezuela, Colombia. There's a lot of insanity going on out there. The renaming of the Department of Defense to Department of War. We've become a laughingstock with tariffs with other countries, none of which has led to actually bringing jobs back to the United States as promised. It's really just only benefited those that have carved out, some sort of, deal specifically with Trump, those ultra elite. Nobody in the middle class feels like this is working for them. And the numbers are showing it. Virginia coming back in blue. Look at that. Shift from 2024. All blue right there. Here is just a piece of the victory speech from the governor-elect, Abigail Spanberger. Here's what she has to say.
My fellow Virginians, tonight we sent a message. a message to every corner of the Commonwealth, a message to our neighbors and our fellow Americans across the country. We sent a message to the whole world that in 2025, Virginia chose pragmatism over partisanship. We chose our Commonwealth over chaos. You all chose leadership that will focus relentlessly on what matters most: lowering costs, keeping our communities safe, and strengthening our economy for every Virginian.
And not only that, Abigail Spanberger, first governor in Virginia in several hundred years, first ever, really. So congrats to her. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, I'm going to share the New Jersey governor's race. Then we'll get into Prop 50 in California. I know it's a lot, but this is important stuff. So stick around. Quick word from our sponsor, and we'll have this story next. Today's episode is sponsored by Veracity, an all-natural way to slim down, get energized, and sharpen your focus. Veracity is tackling the root cause of so many issues, metabolism. With Veracity's drug-free, clinically proven, and doctor-formulated solutions, you can support your body's needs to live your healthiest life. Try Metabolism Ignite, the #1 doctor-recommended GLP-1 booster and GLP-1 alternative. No side effects or allergens. Metabolism Ignite is a natural, safe, plant-based aid that results in an 85% reduction in hunger and is clinically proven to lose, on average, 9 pounds in 90 days. So what's in Veracity? It's a unique blend of lemon, verbena, and hibiscus extracts, green coffee bean extract, and magnesium. Veracity is safe to take along with GLP-1 medications to aid in boosting your metabolism and appetite control. Head to veracityselfcare.com and use code RUSHHOUR for up to 45% off your order. Once again, that's veracityselfcare.com for up to 40% off, and make sure you use my promo code RUSHHOUR so they know I sent you. Veracity doesn't just offer a quick fix for fatigue or weight gain. The products actually help you maintain a healthier lifestyle. It's the best kind of self-care.
Mikey Sherrill, she is the winner and the next governor of the state of New Jersey, defeating the Republican Jack Ciattarelli. You see the numbers coming in real time. We're tracking it at 57-32 in favor of Mikey Sherrill. Now, New Jersey, there were a lot of storylines, guys. We could talk about some of this on the maps. We could talk about it throughout the night that we've been highlighting coming in. One of them was that Donald Trump, even though he didn't win the blue state of New Jersey last time around, did much better in 2024 than he did in 2020. He improved by about 10 points. So we're going to look at a lot of these counties. We'll have time to do it throughout the night where Trump did better. Passaic, he was up 18 or 19.
I mean, but when you look at these numbers, again, we don't have the final numbers as I'm recording this because all these numbers are still coming in, but massive win for Mikey Sherrill here, the Democrat, will be the next governor of New Jersey, the Garden State. And now we'll get into Prop 50. So Prop 50 is this special initiative, kind of came out of nowhere, of course, in response to Texas gerrymandering. California said, if you're going to redraw your districts, even though it's supposed to be done every 10 years, Trump basically, working with the governor of Texas, says, I want to redraw these districts now, which is absolutely unfair to just rewrite the rules in between when the rules are normally written and all that jazz, right? But now we have Gavin Newsom saying, if you're going to do that, we're going to do this in response too, but we're going to do it through a vote, democratically. California voters passed Proposition 50, adopts a new Democratic-approved congressional map through 2030. The new map will take effect starting in the 2026 midterm election. The thought being is that this is going to counteract whatever wins that Texas gerrymandering gives to the Republican Party. So it's not to have any advantage. It's just to say, you know what, you're going to go in that direction. We'll offset it, and then we're going to call it quits there. A big old knock it off. And the Republicans said they were going to raise millions of dollars to fight this. They said there's no way this is going to win. But I mean, look at that, 75%. I mean, it was an absolute landslide win on this congressional redistricting. And listen, I'm going to share a clip from someone who's a former Republican, and he actually discusses, why these losses for the Republican Party might be good. And you might say, are these symbolic losses? Like, will they mean anything? Is this going to bring the Epstein files out and all that. No, and it's not going to do anything in the short term. But what it's showing is the sea change for the midterms in 2026, which, if they do not go in the Republicans' direction, will lead Trump to really being, not just a lame duck president, but won't be able to pass any of his agenda. I mean, not to say there aren't other ways to do it, but it's a big deal. It's a big deal. So I'm going to share what this Republican had to say. He's going viral, saying break free. And again, I respect my friends that voted Republican. I obviously don't. I don't consider myself like a traditional Democrat. I'm a progressive. I feel like, we've got this insane wealth gap between the ultra wealthy and the middle class and lower middle class. And I think I think we need to do something to close that gap to make the richest country in the world livable for so many people. And so many people right now, it's not. And I think most people understand that. But the Republican Party, it used to be very, very recently for small government, states' rights. And what we're seeing now is the exact opposite. Trump bringing in the National Guard to different states, even though they're saying, we don't need you here. We got this under control. We see him using executive authority, not going through Congress to literally declare war on fishing boats. We see all these different things going on. $billion-dollar bailouts for other countries. Meanwhile, using food stamps to literally starve people. All during this government shutdown. The government being shut down because Trump's government is providing tax cuts to the ultra wealthy, which is ballooning the debt, right? So all these things, it's like, look, you want to be in the Republican Party, sure, but that ship has sailed. And if, and you got to be careful, that ship might get bombed by Trump too. Who knows? Here's what Real Talk with Tom has to say.
I say this with all my heart as a former Republican. Republicans, sometimes you have to lose to win. Did you believe him when he said he was just going to export the criminals, the worst of the worst? Did you believe him when he said he was going to bring down cost and prices? Did you believe him about everything?
And my response to people out there is a lot of people thought that Trump couldn't finish his agenda his first go around because of the pandemic and whatnot. My belief was Trump had a good economy, that he kind of surfed that wave that was created from the previous economy. And then Biden kind of, for all the reasons that people don't like him, whatever, of course, his age being probably the number one reason, he did a pretty good job of getting, some big bills passed that were going to provide infrastructure and actually help out a lot of Republican majority states. But right now, it's like, here's your chance. Here's Trump's chance to be that populist president. And really, nobody's approving of the tariffs. No, we all kind of understand that the prices have been absolutely insane. It's not even a year into the term. His poll numbers haven't been this low since the insurrection. So for all those that voted for him, I give people grace, but we also have to, deal with the reality, which is he's throwing these, Great Gatsby like galas at Mar-a-Lago on Halloween when 1 in 8 Americans aren't getting their SNAP benefits paid out. Right? They're slashing healthcare costs. My healthcare is for my family. My out of pocket max is up to $48,000 a year. I have to pay $2,200 a month before I even get to go to the doctor for my family. Up $7,000 from last year. If you guys haven't checked that out yet, you need to, because I don't even get subsidies. I'm very blessed and fortunate enough to be doing well. I do not receive those subsidies. So there are people out there that their subsidies are going away and they will not be able to afford health care. And what that means is tragic.
The worst thing that could happen is not to lose to the Democratic Party. The worst thing that could happen is to slowly give up all the principles that you stood for in support of a guy wearing the team jersey, but who inside is not who you believed the party was.
And of course, to me, that looks like the First Amendment, due process, just people making every excuse in the world to get rid of it. You don't like what the judge says? There must just be some radical judge that was appointed by some, lunatic or whatever. And it's that type of thinking that you'd rather have your own team win. And we've seen this with people. They'd rather a Russian infiltrate than a Democrat win. You know what I mean? You see these. I mean, and not everybody, but there's a lot of crazies like that the psychological effect of us versus them. And I have to remind people it's not left versus right. It's up versus down. Trump's not, he's not he has, the people that voted for him have nothing in common with him. Trump's the billionaire class. It's like, people have to realize that he's not putting policies in place that are helping everyday Americans.
Encouraging you to break away, to become independent. Being an independent doesn't mean you got a foot in both camps, doesn't mean you don't know what you believe. It means you know enough about what you believe to walk away. Stand alone, only you wouldn't be standing alone. There are many of us who have left the party. You can still do that.
So there it is. Real Talk with Tom. And again, there's so many TikTok accounts popping up of people sort of that have left the movement, realized it's not for them. So many Christians speaking out that are saying, they've hijacked our religion, just like Trump is trying to tell, Jewish New Yorkers how to vote. He's also, been a part of this. Mike Johnson, Caroline Levitt, they wear the cross, but they don't do anything Christian. That exists out there. Real heroes exist in our country. One of them, I believe, is Miss Rachel. No, seriously, Miss Rachel is a hero. She's our modern day Mr. Rogers. And she, of course, is one of the Women of the Year for Glamour magazine. Here is the speech she gave. She's basically went from being a virtual no-name YouTuber to being a voice that is speaking out for those that don't have one.
I am wearing this beautiful dress that has art from kids in Gaza, and these kids are just amazing. They're so thoughtful and so brilliant. And I know all their names and stories: Luna and Ahmed, Rama, Rana. I'm so proud of you. I'm so honored to wear your artwork. Rana made this beautiful drawing. She lost both of her sisters in the genocide. She lost her 9-month-old sister, Haya, in her arms in an airstrike. Her older sister was killed the next month. I want to end with her words because they're more important than mine. Rana wanted to say, I want to tell the world that my sisters are not numbers. They are moons. They are like the stars. They shine and sparkle.
That's Miss Rachel. A lot of powerful women out there. Not just, Miss Rachel could run for office. I don't know if she will, but she's doing a lot of good out there. And, my support for Miss Rachel has led to people rolling their eyes. Even calling me anti-Semitic, really, because there was this idea that Miss Rachel's only supporting those kids in Palestine. What about the kids in Sudan? What about the kids in, whatever other place that there's hardships? And again, for Miss Rachel to use her platform and actually call the genocide what it is, it's big, it's brave, and it's rare. And I'm surprised that Glamour magazine is even going into those waters, because so many people have not. I've witnessed it firsthand. And at some point, Miss Rachel's learned what I've learned and what others need to learn, which is you need to take a stand and call things for what they are. And these kids that she speaks of are innocent kids that have been robbed of their youth, that have been robbed of their lives, robbed of their legs. And in many cases, in so many different cases, robbed of just their future, really, as that whole area has been absolutely decimated, and it's nothing but rubble. It's a sad situation out there, but people like Miss Rachel give me hope. People like those that voted in this election yesterday give me hope that we realize how strong and how loud our voices can be if we come together in a way that is democratic, that is what's right for the working class, for those of us that, so many are going to lose their jobs with automation. AI, artificial intelligence, is coming at us so fast. I'm shocked how fast this is coming. Companies laying off thousands. Where will you be when that job you thought wasn't replaceable now has replaced, where will you be when that job is gone, And how are we going to take care of Americans? Are the ultra wealthy going to absorb all of the profits? And these are real questions that need to be asked out there, because so far we haven't seen much of that money being trickled down. We just haven't. I don't know about you guys, but with my phone, I do 7 people's jobs, and I know a lot of other people do. Do you get paid 7 times the wages? A lot of people working for companies don't. And anyhow, so there's a lot of uncertainty out there in this world that we live in. I wanted to give an update to the Laura Owens trial. It's absolutely wild what went down yesterday. Laura Owens filed an appeal to have her trial delayed. She's trying to get an extended restraining order against Mike Maricini. She won't even go to San Francisco. Doesn't want to go there in person. She did file the paperwork to go in person. She had to ask permission from Arizona. I was supposed to go. I canceled several hours before my flight. God bless Southwest Airlines. You can cancel up to 10 minutes before your flight, which is nice. But my guess is today she's going to show up via Zoom and get in a lot of trouble over that. And my guess is Mike Maricini is going to walk out of there victorious. If you haven't been covering the case, it's a complete fraud what she's committed, lied about domestic violence and all these other things. And we found the proof. We found the proof through a laptop and forensic experts willing to testify. His lawyers are all there in their war room, ready to go to court, and she's making a mockery of it. So I decided I wasn't going to leave my lovely family to go to San Francisco when she's not even willing to go. Maybe she'll show up today. We'll find out. But as of right now, this request that she made, the appeal that she made, was denied, and it was denied quickly. So she has to show up. Seeking Justice for Clayton Echard said this is the denial from the appellate court. She was already denied at the lower court level. There are no more pending appeals. She needs to show up tomorrow, and the hearing will proceed as planned. So we'll see how it goes. It'll be very interesting. I'll have updates. I'll be speaking to people that are in the courtroom. Inside Edition tried to get video cameras in the courtroom. It was denied. There are no cameras there, but we have rigorous note takers that are going to be giving us all of the thoughts about what happened. I mean, I want body language, conversation. Write it all down if you're going to be in court. I want to know everyone's thoughts. So we'll have that on the afternoon episode. So much to cover. It's going to be a very busy day. But those are your updates. I hope you enjoy. If you, these political videos, quite frankly, do not do well on the algorithm for me. But we're not going to stop them anytime soon. The conversation's worth having. I think we do have a good megaphone here. I think it's just an algorithm issue. So if you hit the like button, subscribe, leave a nice comment, and share it with friends, that'll help us continue growing the political content. Pop culture, political. We're here to give you all of the different stories that you need to know on a day-to-day basis. We'll see you this afternoon. I'm Dave, and this is The Rush.